there ever. So I'm already up on what I did all of last year based on what we're doing here now. And yeah, be like, I don't have any particular ambitions of being the next ninja or major streamer, and I don't even know if I can make some money off of this at some point, that would be cool. But like, I don't even know if I want to make this my job at some point. I have on your Instagram, the content really looks like you do talk about games a lot. Yes, I do. Anyway, it wouldn't be the end of the world if you didn't get more viewers just to make a little bit of extra money. Yeah, that would be nice. I do make a little bit of money on the website. And... oh man, do I... what was I going to say now? Yeah, at this point, this is my hobby. And... for the foreseeable future, I will do this as long as it's fun. And, like, thinking about the other side as well, having read about some of the top streamers over the last few years, and even just some of the quote-unquote smaller streamers, I am tiny compared to some of these other streamers, but seeing the path that they have gone down, and the notion that there's a lot of pressure for people who do this as their full-time gig to stream, like, insanely long stretches. Like, Ninja's streaming 8 to 10 hours a day. Like, I have no interest in living that life. Even if it does make me a lot of money, I don't want to sit in front of the TV that long within the context of it being a job. I'll sit in front of the TV for that long if I'm really into a game in particular, but... if I'm doing this because I need to raise my CPM and put some more money in my bank account, like that's not fun to me. Well, let me see what you say here. Being famous on Twitch will give you money, but being famous is also hard. Some viewers do call cops for dumb reasons, so be careful on that. Streamers did get swatted hard. Yes, that's absolutely a concern. Seeing some stuff about the swattings and people shooting up Dr. Disrespect's house. That's insane. But I think more just the day-to-day of the idea of video games as my livelihood is kind of weird. As someone who plays video games a lot and enjoys them and enjoys making content about them, there's opportunities to make this my job, but it changes. It changes your perspective on it. When video games become work, it's not necessarily as fun as it was when you were playing the games for fun. Like before, a couple of years ago, I used to work for a site called Splitkick, and I would get pre-release copies of games that I would review, and your perspective on video games changes when someone says, review this game. Like, I don't have any... let me try and find an example here. Ugh. I traded away a lot of my bad games, but let's say... here's an example. Here's an example. Okay? This is Zombie U. I've played this game for 2 to 3 hours. Didn't really like it. As someone who's just playing games for fun, I just put this back on the shelf. No harm, no foul. Moved on with my life. But there are instances where I've gotten games that were far worse than Zombie U, and I had to finish them because it was my job. And then I had to write about them in a professional manner. And that's hard. Oh, nabbit. Like when you... We'll leave. Alright, fine. Okay, let's go get Nabbit. When you're now playing video games for work, it's tough. It's like I would rather work my current day job than sit through a game I really don't like. But what are you gonna do if that's how you make your money? For someone like Ninja who makes a ton of money, and I hope he still loves Fortnite, but at the same time, his job is entirely dependent on him playing the same one game for now until Fortnite's not cool anymore. Like, I don't think I love any game enough to play as much every single day as he does. And maybe he loves Fortnite that much. Awesome. If he doesn't, and he's still putting in that time, like, that's his choice to make. But I personally, put in that spot, I don't think I could do it. Of course, Fortnite is famous. He would get that many viewers and money. Well, I mean, it's not just Fortnite. Like, part of the popularity of Fortnite is him with Drake and all. So I don't want to sell Ninja short on his success as a Twitch streamer. He is partially capitalizing on a big game, but he also made it bigger by streaming with Drake and also being a great player at that game. But that it brainwashed little kids. I don't know if the game itself brainwashed little kids. No, I will disagree with you on that. I think Fortnite is a game, and I think the reason you are seeing stuff appear like that is just because it is the #1 game. A lot of people are playing it, but I don't think that game is any more harmful or problematic than any other video game out there. It's just that it has hit a level of popularity that very few games have. So, like, yes, that boy Drake played with Ninja. Yeah, T-Dot's own. I think if we go by degrees of separation, I think I'm like 1 or 2 people away from Drake. But a lot of, I mean, Drake is a popular Toronto figure here, so kids stole money for skins, V-Bucks. I mean, but like, you could say that about FIFA Ultimate Team. You could say that about all sorts of games. Like, Capcom had a Smurfs game, and one kid spent over $10,000 of their parents' money. They stole from their parents' credit card to buy stuff for that game. So that's not a Fortnite problem. That is a larger video game problem as a whole. It's okay if you disagree. Yeah. And it's okay if you disagree with me too. I don't think Fortnite is... Like, I've even seen news stories about Fortnite being involved in 200 divorce cases, and I don't think that's necessarily Fortnite's fault. No, I think you could probably, like, if you go back in the annals of history, you will find multiple people who have cited World of Warcraft in their divorce, or possibly Grand Theft Auto, or any number of games. The only reason it's even in the press now, and you can throw out a number like 200 divorces, is not because it's Fortnite, because of anything in particular Fortnite did. It's just Fortnite is the most popular thing right now. That's it. So, not Fortnite's fault. Fortnite, still not my favorite game, but I wouldn't levy the ails of society on that single game. I mean, people got all ridiculous about Mortal Kombat back in the day, about how it's eroded society because that game has blood and gore, and you're teaching the kids, you're desensitizing the kids to violence. Like, no, that's not what happened. And there you go. If you want to talk about positive change, you bring up a very valid point. Crossplay. That is fantastic. No other game was going to get Sony to budge on crossplay. It needed a game of that stature in order to get Sony to change their policies on that. So, if anything, that is a massive thing that we have to give Fortnite credit for. regardless of if you like the game or not. Eventually, cross-platform play will come to a game that you like, and you will have to give your props to Fortnite for that. Also, I think, here we go. I mean, since we're talking about talks about V-Bucks and skins and all that stuff, I do have a bit of a rant when it comes to microtransactions and all of that stuff. And this is going to sound anti-gamer of me, and that's fine. But, and people are ranting about free-to-play games and... Oh, there we go. The reason they didn't add crossplay, our system is cool. It's too cool to have crossplay. Yes, that's basically Sony's reasoning. They didn't want to do it because they're the #1 platform holder right now. They have the majority share of players, and they did not want to give prospective players a reason to not buy a PlayStation 4. So, totally get it. Uh-oh, where'd my Yoshi go? Come on, baby. Yeah, it was a terrible answer, and I'm glad that gamers called them out on it and forced their hand to ultimately put cross-platform play on there. And so that's good. I think for me, I'm not necessarily the biggest Fortnite fan, but I love Street Fighter, and being able to get cross-platform Street Fighter 6, I mean, that's going to be dependent. Street Fighter 5 was funded by Sony, so if that relationship continues, then we probably won't get cross-platform Street Fighter 6, but cross-platform fighting games would be incredible. Getting cross-platform Overwatch would be incredible. I just found out that my cousins, they only own an Xbox One, and they play Overwatch on there. And it would be awesome for my brother and I to play them, or play with them, but no cross-platform play. I guess I could buy another copy of Overwatch to play on Xbox, but then I would also have to get Xbox Live, and I don't feel like buying another subscription. Randy wants some... Player 2 Start wants some cross-platform BlazBlue tag. That would be great! There's another one. My brother Randy has, Player 2 Start has the Nintendo Switch version of BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle. I have the PS4 version. We can't play each other in that game, though we would probably play each other a lot if we had the same version. In fighting games, do you use the arrows or joystick? Okay, so that's a great question. As soon as I'm done this level, I'll show you what I work with. Okay. So, if it does, I plan on playing with you. Great. So if we're playing Pocket Rumble specifically, I am using this controller, Pro Controller, and I'm using the D-pad. If I'm playing any other fighting game, I'm using one of these. Yep, that's that is my Excalibur here. I use a fight stick. And if I had the adapter for the Switch, I would probably be using that fight stick up there as well, for Pocket Rumble as well. I'm playing on a regular controller because I am too cheap to buy the adapter, but at some point I probably will. Uh-oh. Oh, okay. Oh, come on! There we go. Yeah, I have a bunch of fight sticks here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can see 6. There might... Oh, there's 7. I have 7 fight sticks in the house right now. D-pad is hard for you to play with. What is it about the D-pad? There are some other critics in the room of the Nintendo Switch D-pad. Oh, I use Joy-Con D-pad. Joy-Con D-pad? Oh, dude. I can't use that thing at all. The 4 buttons, I hate it. I can't use it, especially in portable mode, just because they're so far down. It cramps my hand up so bad, and it doesn't have that D-pad feel. Can't use it at all. Generally speaking, though, I think for most fighting games, you'll want to play with a digital input. So anything but the analog stick, really, is what I'm trying to say. Analog sticks aren't really designed with fighting games in mind, and so you'll run into some control issues there. Other than that, though, it's really just a matter of personal preference. And there might be players out there who are incredible with a analog D-pad. I don't know, or analog pad. I don't know. When I want to dash, I jump accidentally. Okay, so you sound like you have the same problem that Player 2 Start does, where, and this is a known issue with the Nintendo Switch D-pad, because the way that the controller is built, sometimes you will hit left and right, and it actually reads as up or down. I don't really run into that problem, but I've also noticed that it could be highly dependent on how I press the buttons. Like, Randy and I one time, like, actually did the test. There's a way to test your D-pad to see what inputs it's reading at any given time. And he had... his showed up as going up or down way more than mine did. And... yeah, I think it's just if you play these games a particular way, and not saying you're playing it bad, but... or playing it wrong, it's just that if it's leniency, or it's probably too sensitive in reading up and down. But yes, with regards to what type of controller you use for fighting games, because there's a lot of debate in the... always been a lot of debate. One of the oldest debates in the fighting game community of what type of controller should you use. I always say go with the one that you feel comfortable with, and that's all that really matters. There we go. Okay, cool. No worries. I will be right here. Alright, let's keep it moving. I don't know if we're going to be able to beat this game in one sitting, but we'll play. I've got time. Shoutouts to everyone on the stream right now. Give me a shout in the chat. Don't be shy. Or if you're shy, yeah, that's fine, but it'd be cool if you chatted as well. If you're just tuning in, I'm Jet from inthirdperson.com, a person look at video games, board games, other nerdy pursuits. We're playing New Super Mario Bros. U on the Wii U, though a port of this is coming to the Switch early next year. They're adding the ability to play as Nabbit and Bowsette. Not Bowsette. Oh, I already made that mistake. As Toadette, and who turns into Peachette. That was it. Alright. Actually, since we're here, we were playing this. I think it was either Polygon or US Gamer. It was Jeremy Parrish that wrote the article. He he made a list ranking all of the Super Mario games, the mainline Super Mario games, and he rated this as his #1 favorite. Thoughts? Yes? No? Oh man, I'm not gonna be able to follow this. Yeah, man, I am not good at these memory. Well, we're gonna shuffle things around, and it's actually kind of funny when Steph and I go to Toronto Raptors games. Hey, man. It's funny when Steph and I go to Toronto Raptors games and they do the shuffling on the screen. I almost always get it wrong. I'm yelling like #2, and Steph's like, "No, you idiot! It's #1." So yeah, we're just gonna pick. Oh, I probably should have just ran up early. We'll get this one. And we'll grab this guy. Hey! I'm sad for the fact that Overwatch doesn't offer crossplay. Yeah, it's awful that it doesn't, and we're really sad too. But the Fortnite news is a start. Maybe at some point, I think Overwatch would be on the next tier of games after Fortnite that would get crossplay. It would be pretty high on the list, I would think. I think your Overwatches and your Rocket Leagues are probably next in line. Actually, no, I would, yeah, your Overwatch, Rocket League, and I would think the next game would be the next Call of Duty. Whatever the heck they do next, Call of Duty, Black Ops, I don't know, 18 or whatever. I heard you have Rocket League on Switch. Yes, I do have. I have Rocket League on Switch and PS4. I play mostly on Switch, but I do have the PS4 version as well. Rocket League does offer crossplay. It offers crossplay between Nintendo and Xbox and PC, but it does not offer crossplay between PS4 and those other ones. Yeah. So I did check that off when I first started playing it on the Switch, because when we were first playing against Xbox players, they had way more experience than we did, and we were getting destroyed. So I just turned that off up until this point, but at some point I'll turn that back on. Bang. Oh. There we go. Ah, no! Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That was bad. Oh, no. Oh, no. This is not going according to plan. Okay. You own Rocket League on PS4 and Xbox. Okay. So, yeah. At some point when they allow... Is cross-platform parties in the game yet? I know they're working on that, and I believe it got delayed, but I don't know if that's been fixed yet. Because once that is, we can totally play Rocket League together between Switch and Xbox. Spikes sprouting sands. Cross-platform parties haven't happened yet. Okay. Once that does happen, Dark Diamond, we will absolutely play some Rocket League together. Randy, what is... I don't know if I've ever asked you this before, but what is your favorite Super Mario game? While you answer here, I'll tell you mine. Super Mario World, good choice. That is also my favorite Super Mario game. It is still a game that I could just go back to right now Maybe we will stream that again, and I'll just beat that in one sitting. And I have fun every time I play it. I love the power-ups. I think it still looks gorgeous. And the levels designs were great. All of the secrets that are in that game are so cool. I still haven't found everything. I never did finish all the exits in Super Mario World, but... And I remember at the time, that game got a lot of criticism for... In the wake of everyone being enamored with Sonic the Hedgehog, people saying that, oh, Mario's too slow, and Mario's not as cool. And I think Super Mario World is an infinitely better game than Sonic the Hedgehog 1. And history, I think, has proven that Mario World is held up a lot better than Sonic has. And not even to say that Sonic's a bad game. I think Sonic 1 is good. Of the Sonic games... No, I think Sonic 2 is my favorite, but Sonic 1 is really good. Really up there as well. But there's no way it is in even the same stratosphere as Super Mario World. I finished all exits on the GPA version. Okay. Favorite one is the third. Oh, Super Mario 3. Okay, that is another excellent choice. Third Mario. Okay. I'm assuming you mean Super Mario 3 and not like the third new Super Mario Bros. Game or anything like that. Super Mario Bros. 3 was a monster of a game. I was old enough to remember when that game first came out. And people were at a fever pitch wanting to play Super Mario 3. So much hype behind it. And everybody knew the flute secret before that game even came out. Because they weirdly spoil... Like, oh my goodness. Don't get me started on my rant about the Wizard. Dark Diamond by chance. I'm going to guess you have not seen the movie, The Wizard. But let me know if you have before I spoil the movie for you. Probably one of the most well-known video game movie spoilers of all time. So yeah, I'll pause while you answer whether you've seen The Wizard or not. Though the movie's like almost 30 years old at this point, still. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Don't think you have. Okay, so... It's a movie about these two brothers, and I can't remember the relationship. I think it's Fred Savage is the main guy, but then his little brother is a video game genius. Just video game prodigy. Best video game player you'll ever see. And him and his brother, and I can't remember how the girl is connected to them. I don't think her and the main guy were friends. Or she tacked on for reasons. Anyway, they travel across the country, run away from home to compete in the Nintendo World Championships. And at the end of the game, this is your spoilers right now. You can plug your ears, turn off the stream for a sec, and I'll tell you what happens. Or you can listen. The final game of the movie in the competition is Super Mario Bros. 3, which at the time was not out yet. And the big spoiler of the movie was that, or the big twist of the movie is that the kid was able to figure out how to get the magic whistle in the game without any strategy guides ever existing. No one's ever played this game in public before, and this kid already figured it out. Which I think would be just straight up impossible. No one's gonna know in the world of Super Mario Bros. You go and like get the big mushroom and you squat in this exact block and then you run behind the world. Like, I know people have found secrets in all sorts of weird ways, but there was no way, straight up impossible, that he would figure that out in the moment in real life. Even if he was a video game prodigy, because video game logic never dictated such a thing up until that point, so you just wouldn't know to do that. Also, I am having a really hard time right now on this. Nabbit again. Okay. Yeah, whatever. I don't care. So, it's a terrible movie. It does prominently feature the Power Glove, though. The main antagonist wears the Power Glove as his controller of choice. And that's where the "I love the Power Glove, it's so bad" line comes from. Otherwise, though, Super Mario 3, fantastic game. Really hard, too. I did a stream, you can find the video on YouTube, of me trying to beat Super Mario 3 on a stream. It's probably the single most infuriating moment I've ever had on a stream, I guess, besides what's happening right now. I couldn't beat Super Mario 3. I got all the way to the final castle, and it has the weird sequence at the end where you have to run through the level and go through a specific series of doors in order for the game to not loop on itself. And I don't remember what you have to do. So I ran around for half an hour, couldn't figure it out, and I just rage quit the stream. I think I have. That was noted. Other Super Mario games. Yeah, Super Mario World and Super Mario 3 are probably my 1 and 2. My number 3... it might be Super Mario Odyssey. At some point we'll have to stream that. But I love Super Mario Odyssey. That game is so well done. Of the 3D Mario games, maybe not the most revolutionary, but definitely the most polished. And I love the creativity on display in that game. All the different things you can do. Rage quitted. Yeah, rage quit the stream. You can find that video on the YouTube channel. It's awful, don't watch it. But it's there if you want. I see the difficulty too. Yeah, Super Mario 3 is a pretty challenging game. I think the hardest Mario game is still the Lost Levels. I am nowhere near close to beating that game. That game was a kick in the groin from Nintendo. They intentionally made that game super hard and did some really devious stuff to make gamers upset. Yeah, I think my top 3 right now, if you ask me, would be Super Mario World, Super Mario 3, Super Mario Odyssey. Though I am concerned recency bias might be coloring my perception of that game. What other games can we talk about in the Super Mario universe? Super Mario 2 I love. I know that is a weird game. It's not a real Super Mario game, but I do love the inclusion of Princess Peach as a playable character. That I think that was hugely important to the series. Oh, am I gonna get crushed here? Yep. Ah. That game had some really weird quirks. Are you no. Come on, man. Am I really that bad? You're gonna give me the super... I'm not using it. I'm not using it. Maybe I should use it. No, we're not going to use it. We're going to beat this straight up. I don't know why I'm having so much problems with this castle. So many problems with this castle. So yeah, Super Mario 2. It introduced throwing as a mechanic into the series, introduced Princess Peach as a playable character, Toad as a playable character, Birdo as a boss. A lot of good came from Super Mario Bros. 2, and it saddens me that Nintendo hasn't really gotten back to it. I think they don't like the fact that it is an oddball game, and that its existence is predicated on some weird stuff happening at the time. I don't know, Dark Diamond, if you're familiar with the story of why Super Mario Bros. 2 is so weird relative to the rest of... is so different compared to the rest of the Mario games. telling you guys, we're beating this straight up. I've got all the... We have 34 lives. We're not going anywhere. Ba, 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 ba. Alright. Let's go. I think it's relevant to me. So, I don't know if that means yes or no, but I'll share the story anyway of why Super Mario Bros. Is so different compared to what came after it and what came before it. So at the time, in Japan, like, at the time, video games came out in Japan, at least games made in Japan came out in Japan before they came out in North America, or internationally. So Super Mario Bros. 1 came out in Japan, then it came out in the US as Super Mario Bros. 1. Super Mario Bros. 2 in Japan is actually what we know as Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels, which came out after the fact as part of Super Mario All-Stars. And that game originally didn't make it to North America because Nintendo of America thought the game would be too hard for North American gamers. So instead of releasing that as Super Mario Bros. 2, they took a different game in Japan called Doki Doki Panic and released that as Super Mario Bros. 2. So everything about that game is different. They just put Mario characters on top of it. That's why the graphics look different. That's why the bad guys are all different. Uh-oh. Oh, man. Uh-oh. Okay. There we go. And so, because that it was just kind of a hack job... Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay. Come on. We can do this. We can do this. I kind of want to nip this in the bud as soon as he hops out. No! We're gonna do it. By hell or high water, we're gonna beat this level straight up. I see the mistakes I have made. I rushed it on that one, so we'll be patient. We'll be patient. We'll play it. We'll do it the right way. Yep. You're right, Randy. A lot of stuff did end up becoming canon. Throwing things, Princess Peach floating, Luigi's sort of running jump thing, and Luigi jumping higher than Mario, Birdo as a thing, Shy Guys. A lot of that did ultimately become canon. But we don't really see Super Mario Bros. 2 come back. The last time, I guess, was the Game Boy Advance, where they released Super Mario Bros. 2 as Super Mario Advance. That was weird. They put those games out of order. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so I'm not gonna rush the guy. Let's let him hit all his blocks, or... I don't remember the name of those guys. This is gonna go up? Yeah. Okay. This is gonna go straight at me. Straight at me, and then... There it is. Okay. Don't worry, light work. We got this. Jump. 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 We already talked about Super Mario Bros. 3. Of course, that game. Phenomenal. And then Super Mario 64. Oh man, I love telling this story. I got to play that game before it came out in America. It was already out in Japan, and my brother and I went to sort of amusement attraction in Toronto. It was called Ontario Place. And they had demo booths for Super Mario 64 a couple of months before that game came out in North America. And that game just blew my mind as a 10 or 11-year-old seeing 3D gaming for the first time, and it played so well. Alright, so Ontario Place was so good. Ontario Place was okay. I think if you look at it back in hindsight, it was okay. And I think you can kind of see... I think the challenge is they didn't really evolve, which is why they've kind of torn the whole thing down.